We dive into a stunning transformation shaping the future of humanity, the new space race of 2025, a story of power, ambition, and discovery unfolding high above our skies. Around the world, nations are pushing the boundaries of exploration like never before. From the deserts of Nevada to the plains of Kazakhstan, from Beijing's new launch complexes to India's Lunar Control Center in Bengaluru, the space age has returned, faster, fiercer, and far more political. Just this morning, NASA and SpaceX jointly confirmed a successful docking of the Ares X capsule to the newly upgraded International Lunar Gateway Station, orbiting the Moon. This marks the first U.S. crewed mission to lunar orbit in over 50 years, a monumental step toward building a permanent human presence on the Moon by 2030. Meanwhile, China's Tiangong space station has completed its largest expansion to date, adding 2 new laboratory modules and preparing to host international scientists for the first time under joint research agreements with Brazil and the UAE. This move signals China's growing desire to challenge U.S. leadership in space diplomacy and technology. Across the Atlantic, the European Space Agency (ESA) is finalizing its Ariane 7 rocket system, designed to rival SpaceX's Starship in heavy lift capacity. The ESA director, Philippe Laurent, declared that, "Europe must not be a passenger in space, we must be a driver." Their target: to send a European-led crewed mission to the Moon by 2029. India's ISRO is also rising fast. After the success of its Chandrayaan-3 and Aditya L1 missions, ISRO is now testing the Gaganyaan human spaceflight module. Sources reveal that India plans to launch its first astronauts into low Earth orbit by mid-2026, followed by a collaborative lunar research project with Japan's JAXA. Back in the United States, SpaceX and Blue Origin are racing head-to-head. SpaceX's Starship Mega Booster completed a record-breaking reusable test, while Blue Origin's new Armstrong prototype is preparing for its first full-orbit flight, a crucial step for Bezos's company in the private space economy. Economically, the numbers are staggering. The global space industry is projected to surpass $1.5 trillion by 2035, driven by satellite internet, asteroid mining, and lunar resource extraction. Private investors are pouring billions into startups focused on solar energy collection, orbital manufacturing, and Mars logistics. However, not everyone views this rapid expansion as progress. Analysts warn that the growing militarization of space, from anti-satellite weapons tests to AI-based surveillance constellations, could trigger a new kind of Cold War above Earth. In April, the U.S. Space Command reported unidentified, tracking interference, over the Pacific, possibly linked to Russian electronic jamming systems. At the United Nations, diplomats are now debating a global space accord, aimed at preventing weaponization and ensuring the peaceful use of orbit. Yet, progress is slow. Nations disagree on definitions. What counts as defense, what counts as exploration, and who owns the Moon's resources? Scientists, meanwhile, are pushing forward. NASA's Artemis III will test a lunar ice extraction system capable of turning moon water into rocket fuel. China's Chang'e 8 plans to demonstrate in situ 3D printing using lunar dust. Together, these missions could make off-world construction and resource independence a reality by the next decade. The private sector is moving just as quickly. Elon Musk envisions a million-person city on Mars by 2050, while Jeff Bezos dreams of rotating O'Neill space habitats housing millions in orbit. Japanese companies like iSpace and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries are exploring asteroid mining operations that could yield precious metals worth trillions. On the darker side, space debris remains an urgent problem. Over 10,000 defunct satellites and fragments now orbit Earth, threatening collisions that could cripple global communications and GPS systems. The Kessler syndrome, once a theory, is now a tangible risk. To combat this, Switzerland's ClearSpace-1 mission is set to remove defunct satellites using robotic arms, a first of its kind. As technology accelerates, so do ethical concerns. Who will regulate lunar mining? Who decides access to Mars? Will corporate monopolies dominate the cosmos the way they dominate the internet? These questions hang over humanity's next chapter. Back on Earth, ordinary citizens are starting to feel connected to the stars again. From student-built CubeSats in Africa to robotic telescopes in South America, space exploration is no longer the privilege of superpowers, it's a shared dream of a new generation. The story of 2025 is not just about rockets or robots, it's about our shared destiny beyond Earth. A reminder that even as nations compete, the sky belongs to no one, and everyone. You're watching World Pulse News, bringing you stories that transcend borders and planets.